Hey guys, so I am doing this kind of general introduction for the next few Gwynnie Bee videos that I need to post. Normally I try to do a unique introduction each month because I'm posting it per month, but I'm actually a little bit behind right now with my editing. So kind of just doing a general introduction to cover all of those videos while I play catch up. So what you're going to see now is what I wore for this particular month for this particular video. So let's go ahead and get to the reviews. The Floral Neoprene Top by Elokey in a size 20W. So I'm not really sure which order this is going to end up getting edited in, but I actually ended up with two very similar tops at the same time. Okay, you're going to be hearing the cats yelling at each other in the background. Unfortunately, they're just going to have to deal. They're cranky. Anyway, I did end up with two very similar tops at the same time, which is not actually uncommon with Gwynnie Bee, especially if you closet a lot of different items like I do. For some reason, and I haven't been able to figure this out, but they'll gravitate towards sending you blocks of like the same color or the same style. Not really sure why that is, but it just kind of happens to be the way things happen with Gwynnie Bee for some reason. So I ended up with two tops that are very, very similar in design in terms of the fact that they are kind of blue based up top, and then there's the under layer of a black fabric, kind of a two-tiered, almost peplum style, but instead of it being sewn that way, it's just actually the way that the fabric is cut. So the top layer is almost in a crop, and then underneath that you have a longer piece of fabric. And this one is a pullover design, so there's no zipper or anything with it. It is in blues and greens, a rose pattern to it. The underlining is almost mesh-like. It's a black underlayer and very kind of thin and slightly sheer. And the upper portion is a scuba knit, which if you're familiar with it, you already know is kind of a more structured fabric. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the scuba knit, it is referred to that way because it is kind of similar to a scuba outfit or a wetsuit, that kind of stretchy but sturdy fabric. Because of that, the top is kind of thick, and we're actually going through a little bit of a mini heat wave right now, so I'm kind of rushing through describing this because it's really hot and I want to take it off. So in general, I didn't mind this one too much, but for me, I like scuba knit as a general fabric, usually with dresses. For a top, it feels a little bit too boxy and a little too structured for my liking. I think if you like this as a general fabric, you'll be fine with it, but to me, after a while, it just wasn't really comfortable. It feels a little stiff to me. So I wore it once to work and it was okay for the single wearing, but I'm definitely not interested in wearing it a second time or keeping it. So I'll go ahead and send this one back. But if you haven't tried scuba knit before, this might be a good introduction into it because it's not a full garment. It's just a top. General introduction to the fabric, so you're not dealing with a full garment of it, just a little bit of the top. So consider that if you want to check it out. For me, this was not a winner. The Graphic Stripe Twofer Cardigan by Alfani in a size 2X. And the Black and Cream Fit and Flare Dress by Elvie in a size 20. Okay, so this is actually two different pieces that I got from Gwynnie Bee, but I decided to go ahead and pair them for the reviewing at the same time just to make it easier for changing and that sort of thing. So first up is this overpiece, this jacket, and this one, like the eyelash fringed one that I tried a couple months ago, I kind of had the same reaction to this one. I loved it initially, and I've worn it a few times, but each time I've worn it, I've gotten a little less enamored of it. And I think my problem with this one is the difference in the fabric between the top and the bottom. The top is kind of a heavier knit. It's not super heavy, so it's not necessarily something that you would wear, you know, in the middle of winter, so to speak. It would be more of like a transitional seasonal piece. But it is decidedly thicker than the bottom. The bottom is kind of a sheerer fabric and very lightweight. And I think for me, as a preference, the combination of the two kind of got a little annoying over the wearing. So my romance with this one has definitely dwindled, and I will be going ahead and sending this one back. It does have a single snap button in the front, which is nice, so you can certainly wear it open or closed, and I like the way that it drapes. And I do like the upper fabric in general, and I wouldn't have minded the kind of contrast between the top and the bottom. I think my issue is really just the different fabric weights that I'm having a problem with. So that's just a personal preference. But in general, I think it was a cute idea, a cute concept, and really comfortable to wear. So if having different, you know, having a mixed media outfit for you is doable, then definitely give this one a try, because it's actually really, really nice. It's well constructed, it's comfortable, it's really easy to wear. It just, for me, as a personal preference, it kind of faded in glory for me. One of the things that I really like about Gwynnie Bee is the opportunity to audition outfits that I might fall in love with initially, and then once I am actually wearing it and trying it, have an opportunity to really determine whether or not this is something for me before purchasing. And in some cases, something that I fell in love with initially doesn't kind of live up to what I was expecting, and in other cases I might have kind of disregarded something, and then once I wear it I reconsider. So this is one, unfortunately, that does fall into the former category. I liked this a lot better in concept than I do in reality. It is comfortable, which is a plus, and it's pretty easy to wear. It is a knit fabric, so it is getting to be a little too warm at this time of year. But had I gotten this in earlier spring, this would have been perfect in terms of the weight and how it feels. My main issue with this one, let me show you the back. It's fine. It's pretty easy, like I said, just kind of over the head wearing. Nice length for me, although probably with taller girls it'll be a little on the short side. For me, it's perfect. The issue that I had with it was actually the fabric itself. Once I put it on, I actually kind of started feeling a little bit like hotel drapery. It kind of has that feeling and that appearance in terms of the pattern. There's something a little upholstery about it. So if you like that kind of thing, if you kind of think that that's whimsical or suits your taste, definitely check this out. For me, it was a kind of a bust. So I wore it the one time and it was fine for the one time, but I'm definitely not interested in trying this one again, especially as the weather is warming up. It's definitely, even though it's thin weight, thin in terms of the material, it's right now it's just too warm. So anyway, I'll send this one back. The Reflection Print Top with Split Back by Karen Kane in a 1X. So unlike the other one that I got that was the same kind of style as this one, I've actually worn this one a few times to work. It's not stiff the way that the other one was. So this one was actually a lot more comfortable and easier to wear, especially in my office environment where I'm doing a lot of typing and a lot of kind of moving around. This one ended up being a lot more comfortable. I've worn it a few times in a few different ways. I've partnered it with jeans at work on a Friday. I've also done slacks and skirts with this one, and I've not had a problem with any of those. It does have kind of a split back opening, which kind of helps with the airy feeling of the blouse overall. And I think you can kind of punch it up with some dressier skirts or slacks and jewelry to make this a little bit more dressy for the office if you wanted to do that way. Or could certainly keep it casual either for weekend or Friday office wear. The sleeves are 3/4, which I like, especially in this transitional season. We're starting to get into warmer weather, but we occasionally have still cool days. So it's a good transition piece for the office. And I don't mind the lightweight fabric down below. It's not as much of a contrast as it was in the other blouse, so I'm actually not minding it. It's not feeling like it's a change in weight for the garment, which I appreciate. So this isn't one that I'm going to keep. I've worn it a couple times and now I'm ready to send it back, because in terms of pattern and that sort of thing, it would definitely be something I'd get tired of over time, but it was good for a few wearings, so I'll be glad to send this back and pass it along to someone else. The seamed sheath dress in petrol blue by Toka in a size 20W. I did not have high expectations for this dress when I first got it. I will be completely honest with you. I thought it was kind of bland and boring, and even when I pulled it out, the blue it's a cadet blue, so it's kind of got that gray blue thing going on. And I didn't really feel like it was particularly exciting. But this dress ended up being better than my expectations. It's constructed very well. It fits very comfortably. It's got a good weight to it, but it's not heavy. So I feel very secure in the dress, and it feels very professional. It got a lot of compliments from my coworkers when I wore this to work. I've actually worn it a few times. And the one thing that's actually preventing me from buying it is the price. It's almost $100, and unfortunately, even though I was still kind of relatively recent on the new chain for this one, it's already showing, you know, some thread pulling and some general wear and tear. So for me, $90 is just too much to spend on something that's actually gone through several hands at this point. But, you know, honestly, if this were a different color, I might even reconsider that. I'm not crazy about the kind of gray-blue shade of this. It doesn't make me happy to wear it. And I like clothing that makes me happy or sassy or whatever. This just kind of feels functional. But if you're looking for functional, this is a really good dress to opt for. So if you work in a corporate environment where you have to wear kind of more conservative clothing, this might be a good option for you to consider, because like I said, it's very easy, very, very comfortable. There is a zipper in the back, but I didn't actually even need it. I could just pull it straight over. It's structured without being stiff. And as you can see from the plain color, it's very conservative, but it is colored. So if you're trying to get away from black, white, gray, or even navy, could be a good variation without going too far into a realm that you can't go into for your office environment. So definitely consider this one if you work in that type of environment, because you might be really pleasantly surprised. I certainly was.